Done by Dorothy. We are here today. We're working on our For the Love of Australia journal. It is a ring binder journal. So let's get started. Of course, I have it upside down. Oh, and it came unhooked. Always makes it harder to open the pages that way. Flip it around. Turn our right side up, and we have page 1 where we did our plain colored rock wallaby. And again, these are our base pages. We will be going back through and adding, you know, all our awesome little journal things. We have our large pocket. We have our, with our dingo, our flying fox, or our fruit bat. And this is with our fabric collage. We have our painted background that we did because we are doing a mixed media background. I'm using, you know, different ones. Of course, this is our paint chip page that we did yesterday. And these are using a punch and all that. So if you watch that, go back and check episode 5. So we are on page 6 today. So I'm going to pull it out so we can work on it. And let me put this, link all these back up, because if I don't, then pages go flying. We are going to do another pocket page. And forgive me if I'm sniffling again. It's not, it started snowing and icing outside, and when the weather changes outside, my sinuses go crazy. So I'm actually going to use a piece of scrapbook paper, and I'm going to use this green background. I actually thought about doing the white and green, but I think I really like the bright green just because I'm a bright green kind of girl. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue this down to my base page, and that's the easy part. So I'm just going to, and I probably should have used my Fabri-Tac for this, just because our glitter glue dries so fast, so we'll have to sort of speed this along here. And you could use, you know, just about any kind of glue stick, or, you know, any form of glue that you have. Let me grab this and put this on really fast, and I'm just going to match up some of the corners because we can trim the edges off. There we go. Just going to rub this down. This attached really well. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on my glitter glue because there we go. So then we're just going to trim up around the outside edges. Oh, it is that time of year here where it goes from, you know, last week it got really nice and was really warm outside and you could walk around. I had my sweater on outside with no coat, and then today it's cold again and nasty. I am going to go ahead and grab my punch. Just while I have it here so I know where they're at while I'm doing the other side. I sort of like having an idea of where to glue things. Okay, out of the way. Okay, so we have those holes punched. So I am going to go ahead and grab my ink and ink up around the outside edges. Just adding that little bit of character to it we get when we ink up the edges. Okay. There we go. There we go. Make sure we've got everything right side up. I always double check because, you know, if you're going to glue it on the back, you want to make sure you don't glue anything upside down. So we are going to be using our Great Flying Possum today. So I'm going to go ahead and ink him up too while I have my ink right here. And again, I'm using Tim Holtz Distress Ink and Vintage Photo. And you know me, I love it, love it, love it. So I know a lot of people are probably wondering if I'm just going to use the animals. I am using the animals for all of my base pages. And then we'll have some other stuff added for ephemera and things like that. And some will be images. So we will be adding other things. So don't think that we're just doing the animals. My main base pages, I wanted to use the animals. Okay, so we have that. We do have our green around the edges. Okay, I'm going to grab my scoreboard. I have a piece of, this is gold foil paper. Let me see if I can find. And it's 65 pound, or 166. I get 25 pieces. It's just gold foil cardstock paper. I think I got this from Michael's, and I'm sure I used a coupon off. It's been quite a while since I got it though. So, and I trimmed this down to 9 by 6.5. And I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to mark it at 1/2 inch, and I'm just scoring it at 1/2 inch. I'm going to score it at 8.5. Okay, then I'm going to turn it, and again I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, let me get this out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this on a diagonal off each corner, like that. And then I always like to do the top corners too. There we go. Okay, so grab my bone folder here. And obviously we're going to be doing a pocket page, so we're creating a pocket. This is a larger pocket. And I'm just going to fold it on my score lines. One thing with scoring it makes it a lot easier. If you do not have a scoreboard, you can use just a ruler. Then I'm going to use my bone folder and now you can use any kind of glue on this that you would like to. I'm actually going to use my sequin score tape, and I buy mine from scorepal.com, and this is the 1/4 inch, which I like. I put it as close to the edge as I could get. And then I don't mind overlapping and putting a second thing on there, especially with like this metallic paper, because it tends to, not want to stick as well, even with glue. Because it's got that shininess to it, it does. Although, I mean, Fabri-Tac holds pretty well. Okay. And again, you can use any kind of glue to do that. One thing that I do, getting it pulled here, is if I put this and then glue this down, for whatever reason when you go to tuck things in, it tends to get caught. So I like to put this bottom down first. So let me grab my, and I just use an awl, or you can use any kind of pokey tool that you have. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull all of the back side of my tape off. So I'm going to put that on the inside, just because that it's not going to catch on the bottom. All this slide doesn't want to go so much. Okay. And again, that's just something that I do. Then I always sort of go around and try to make sure if I have any tape towards the inside that I have it pushed down. Okay. And then pull these two up. Okay. Again, excuse me for that. Now, I could glue this down now, but I actually yeah, I think I'll do that in a little bit. And then I'm just going to sort of center this up. I actually have mine because I'm working on a cutting mat. So this is 10.5. So my center is going to be at 5 1/4. Okay. So I can sort of, this comes out right about where your holes are. So if you mark those, and then I take it from the center, and sort of push it down. There we go. So that pretty gold pocket on there. And because we, you know, did those little folds on the inside, we've got a nice room for pocket there. Now I am going to use a bit of my cheesecloth and just go over here because it's going to clear that up a bit. Okay, so I mean, you could do it as basic as you want. You could throw your little possum up there right like that, but I'm not going to do that. I want to add a little sort of different layers to it. So let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's do this like down there. I don't mind. I have a darker green. You know what? I really like my doily. I like using my doily. I think that would look really pretty on there. I actually think I want to use some white along here, and I love this lace. This lace I actually got from Walmart, believe it or not. So, you know, you gotta watch. Sometimes you can find some really, really pretty lace there. And I'm just trying to center this up where it's even. And then trimming it off. There we go. So with the green and the white over here, I think, you know, just putting that white edge on there will add a little bit. And again, with it being foil, I'm going to take my sequin score tape and I'm just going to put it on there in a straight line. It doesn't have to be completely straight, just as good as you can get. Okay. I'm going to put just a little bit overhanging, not a lot. And you can see that sticks down pretty nice. And I'm just going to push it down. Make sure I'm pushing it down pretty hard, and you know, that'll hold that down really good. You always see me, I'll check the other side to make sure it's straight. Okay, so we have that nice edge to our pocket now. So let's get our little possum on there. Instead of the gold, I'll use the green. Put a little cheesecloth on there. I know you guys probably get tired of seeing the cheesecloth, don't you? See, I like that sticking out just a tad bit. It's not a lot where you get, you know, too much, but it's just enough that it adds a little pop to it. Yep. Okay, so now I'm going to pull out my Fabri-Tac. Ideally, I know where I want to put it, so okay. Let's put our Fabri-Tac on here, and I am using Fabri-Tac because of my cheesecloth. So, I mean, I know we did a lot of pages, like we did the painting, and we did the paint chips, and the fabric, and, you know, some of you guys are probably going, well, I don't have this, or I don't have that. You can do this so many different ways. So, you know, if you don't have something, just, you know, maybe you just want to do all the pages with a scrapbook background. You can do that. I just wanted to make sure that I showed different ways that you can do things. So there's that. So, I mean, there's a very basic page, but then again, you know, we've still got our tuck spot over here, so we're going to have stuff, you know, stuck out towards the side. You know, once we get our stuff in there. So stuff along the edges. And I think we're going to use an altered paper clip because that'll sort of, we can put it here on the corner and it'll sort of pull through. So there's that. So I wanted to go ahead, since we've got 3 pages done, let me pull this out. Let me pull the other 2 out. I was going to go ahead and do our grommets and sort of split those up so we're not doing, you know, 25, 30 grommets when we get ready to do it or more. Okay, so oh, I put my grommets in here. That's right, here's my grommets, some of them. Pull these out. And we got 3 on each page, so that's going to be 9 grommets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'm going to get my big bite out. So, you know, this is going to be the front of our page. So, we put our grommets through here, and again, I'm going to use my crocodile. Well, it's a crocodile 2. Let me just line this up. And these go in pretty fast, pretty easy. And okay, so that page is done. Move on to the next. And we have our bat on this page. And this page did curl a little bit where we did the fabric. And I think somebody asked in one of the videos if I was going to seal the pages. Sometimes, depending on what kind of paint I use and all of that, I will like use Mod Podge and seal it or whatever. Or if, you know, I was finishing, if I'm not going to, because when you're working in a journal later on, you may come back through, and that one's done. You may come back through and want to add to it. I don't want to seal it where, you know, I can't add to it or whatever as I'm working in it. Because I'm going to build this as a journal, and then I'm going to print some calendar pages out and actually use it as sort of my calendar journal. For the year, because it's as big as it is. My almanac per se. Okay. Remove that. So we got all 3 of our pages bound, and you'll see the rings went through real easy. I mean, that's all it takes. So we have the first 3 bound already. We have 3 more pages left, and probably maybe doing like more than 1 page at a time, and the next one just because not taking so long to do them. I did this the most difficult way. I think it's easier to slide it on the other way, but okay. That one's on, and that one's on, and I will include like any other images that I get and I use throughout. I will be adding links as we come to them. The base pages, we're going to use the ones we already have. Oh, I did those backwards. Oh, it looked weird when I was putting it in there. because I would like this to be my front page. So, I mean, you see how basic that is. So, I mean, oh, I do want to put some ribbon along the edge. So let me get this one in there and we'll go back and do that. Okay. So, there's page 2 and page 3. And I think, let's see. Yeah, let's just create a tab of sorts. I'm going to use some of my gold ribbon. Oh. And I'm going to use a little bit of the lace that I used. And I need a base. Let's see what kind of base. Ooh, you know what? Hold on just a second. Let me grab. Here we go. I had some of this left over from when we did the other page. So, and again, I'm just cutting that and sort of pulling it. And then I like to sort of pick the ends, pull some of those threads out so they're loose. Sort of age it a little bit. Okay, and we have an open spot right there. I'm going to trim this down a bit. There we go. Put a ribbon right there. Fold this over a little bit. And I'm going to grab my Tim Holtz. You know what? Let's glue this on here, then we'll just sort of create a line, just sort of glue it in there so it's in place, so we're not have to keep holding it and dragging it around. There we go. And we'll just a little bit in each of these little flowers here. Just enough to sort of hold it along the edge, like that. I like that sort of being loose, but we'll let the fabric hold it. And I know there's like this 2-inch spot right here where my fingers are, but there's not anything slipping out, and I don't. And I'm actually going to staple this twice to make sure it stays on there. There we go. And that sort of blends in with, you know what, I'm going to put one more staple in there. And it's probably is over stapling, but again, I'd rather know that it's in there. There we go. So we have that. And with all the different colors, it sort of blends in there because it does have some of the yellow in there. So it creates a little bit of a tab. And that first three, see, we have that continuity of being on there. So this down at the bottom. So, you know, we can run some stuff over here in the bottom sections. And then we'll start from the bottom and work our way back up with the back sections, with the back three. And then we still have everything, you know, to put all in between. So right now, that's where we're at. So again, thanks for coming along. This is for the Love of Australia ring-bound journal that we're doing. I hope you're enjoying it. You know, let me know if you're enjoying it. We have some really neat things coming up for the upcoming pages. So again, we're doing this sort of mixed media style using a lot of different odds and ends. So we'll be back next time. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.